Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Crack Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Crack Podcast. You're on with your host, Mabricio Mookie Wilson, and I'm so happy and honored to introduce to you my two brothers, two U.S. men's national team legends, European legends, World Cup players. Let's get a big round of applause, please, to Damarcus, Beasley, and Oguchi.
Yeah, what's up? Man, stop clapping.
I'm happy.
Why are you clapping?
He gave you a fitting intro this time. I'm clapping.
Yeah, but you clapping for yourself.
I'm clapping for you. I'm clapping for you.
No, you're not. You clapping for yourself.
Oh, come on,
Gooch, why does he always have to tackle somebody and be so beefing everybody about everything?
Don't ever clap again.
I mean, I know it's Juneteenth, but we're coming together today. Let's bring
Yes. This is pretty incredible.
Can we get a shout out to my microphone, my new microphone?
Oh,
can we do that?
Round of applause.
Damarcus is finally caught up with technology.
Yeah, 2020. I got me a microphone. So hey, how I sound, fellas?
Hey.
We know in past episodes he has cut in and out with his Wi-Fi, his headphones.
Well, we don't know about my internet. My internet might cut out again too. So.
Lord.
Oh, man.
Hey, catch a joke. I did get one of those Wi-Fi boosters. It ain't came yet, but I got it.
But Bees, you picked up a new laptop recently. What's going on? What's up with the? I remember sending you emails. I couldn't get an email back. I mean,
stop lying.
Are you changing in front of our eyes?
Yes, I have some news. Can I tell you about my news?
You pregnant?
Can I tell you about my news?
What happened?
Good news.
Well,
not good news. I mean, it's something that could potentially be great news. But so yeah, I been applying to schools. I want to get my
how old were you the last time you took a class?
Oh man, I was 7, like a real class.
No, fake one.
Yeah, 17 and a half.
Oh, Lord.
Now that's dope though, Bees. Get out of here, man.
Yeah, so yeah, man.
Local Houston school or
all
what?
jokes aside, no. All jokes aside, the Harvard Business School. So it's, the crossover into business.
Mm-hmm.
Ray Gaddis had put me on about a year ago.
Ray Gaddis.
Yeah, man. So after one of the games, we played in Philly, he came up to me after the game. He was like, "Yo, you should do this course I'm doing. It's good for obviously when you're about to retire and this and that. Like it'll be good for your your changeover when you stop playing." And I was like, "Yeah." And at the time, I think we lost the game. You know what I'm saying? We lost.
Normal.
So I was hearing him, but I wasn't. I was hearing him, but then obviously, we kept in touch, and I know, he did a lot of good things with that, and he got a degree from that, and I know Alec just did his as well. His crossover business as well. But yeah, man, I applied.
Nah. Real talk. I'm proud of you. Congratulations.
The year starts in September, man. So I'm excited.
This man went from not taking a class at 17 to going straight to Harvard.
But Gucci you inspired him, man. You went back and you're finishing your field courses.
Catch the joke though. Catch the joke. So not even that one. I applied to East Kentucky. I got to Liberty. So I mean, even Goose, we talked about this the other day, but even doing maybe some coursework as well. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you only stop learning when you die.
There you go.
Exactly.
Preach.
You know what I'm saying? So I've been that's what I've been up to. I got my new laptop. I got my new microphone.
I'm glad.
So I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
You ready for the 21st century, baby?
Exactly.
I'm happy.
He has arrived. He has arrived.
We all spoke about.
It took a minute.
We had a couple conversations in the past in the last couple years, and you all know I'm finishing my bachelor's this year, and I'm happy that finally you're getting into it, and you realize things better late than never. But
what advice can you give him, Gooch? I know when I went back to school, the first semester my head wasn't there, right? Studying, taking notes.
Yeah, I'm doing it online though, so
it don't matter. It don't matter.
At the end of the day, because we're at this age, we're not in the student mindset, right? So you have to kind of reform your mind to be focused. get the work done. It's hard. It's time consuming, but I'm glad that you're taking that first step to doing it. Man.
Start reading books from now to get your mind ready.
Oh, I actually read, but not anything. I read more for entertainment.
Bees does audiobooks.
Ain't nothing wrong with audiobooks.
Ain't nothing wrong with audiobooks.
Ain't nothing wrong with audiobooks.
Big shout to 50 Cent. I just finished
Stop giving shout outs.
Yo, why are you so angry all the time? Why my shout outs?
Because I haven't got accepted yet, so I'm a little bit upset.
Shout out to your microphone. How about that?
Yeah, shout out to my microphone. It's new, it's shiny. It's a pseudo tech.
Yo, but listen, shout out to Salomon Kalou. He's our guest today. He joined us later. If you guys don't realize who Salomon Kalou is, he's one of the Chelsea FA Cup championship winners. Played Ivory Coast, African Cup winner. I mean, this is a tremendous career. So much to talk to him about, and a little bit of controversy. So he'll tune in later. But fellas, Juneteenth. All right, we're here recording today. This is definitely something special to us, and as well as bees. I just did some research and then realized down in Texas is obviously where everything was first established, and how this holiday, which is new holiday. Can you tell us a little bit about what you know, or what's the word? What's they talking about in Houston when it comes to Juneteenth?
Man. The crazy thing is, I've been in Houston for, 5.5 years now, almost 6.
Time flies.
And man, time flies. And I didn't know. I knew that, obviously they had free slaves in Texas, but I didn't know it was in Galveston. And Galveston is literally 45 minutes, 50 minutes from where I live. So yeah, man, I went to the place, there's 2 different places, but the place that the general read the announcement, that the slaves in Texas were free, was on a street called Strand and 22nd. And now it's a parking lot. So, but they have they have a pole, they have obviously a big sign, and really talking about, what happened there at that spot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So just going there and seeing, just that sign, it got my mind thinking, I had so many emotions just from just being there, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't a building. It was literally just a pole.
A pole.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. A pole. And, and then so after that, I knew about my family history, you know what I'm saying? My dad's from Georgia, my mom's side, they're from Alabama, so both deep rooted South, southern roots. And, so, then I was like, I need to know more, I need to know more. And, I was like, Mom, Dad, I was like, I need to talk to, one of my great aunts,
What's her name?
She's not,
What's her name?
Aunt B.
Big shots to Aunt B, baby. Listen, anyway. If you don't got an Aunt B, you ain't.
But real talk, we're 38 years old right now. Does it surprise you that you didn't know any about this until right now? You know what I'm saying?
And that's what it's crazy. And part of me, felt I won't say a little. I mean, I won't lie. A little part of me felt disappointed, in myself, because like I said, I knew, obviously I knew where my mom and my,
your roots,
my root, a little bit of my roots, but I didn't know the whole story.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And that's what kind of made me feel, and I told her that, and obviously, she loves me to the end of the day, but, so we had my mom, my aunt, my great aunt, and my dad, we had a talk for about a good hour, man. Just, about, her experiences, and, about her, what she went through with her dad and even her granddad, because she remembers stuff from way back. I'm talking about generations.
Yeah.
Did they ever explain why they hadn't brought it up to you until now?
No, they didn't. It was just a really open conversation. My aunt, obviously my great aunt, was so happy that I came to her and interested and wanted to know. And for me, out of all, I mean, I could go on and on about the stories that we spoke about. You know what I'm saying? I'll
be honest with you, Bees. My parents are immigrants. They're from Jamaica. Gucci's parents are from Nigeria. So, and being from up north, I really didn't get exposed to down south until traveling for games, but for youth soccer games. But definitely, we're going to college in Virginia. Give us, I'm so interested. Give us at least one story that she told you about your family past.
Yeah. I mean, man, where do I start? I mean, there was, sad stories. There were even some funny stories. The whole conversation was amazing. But even just, I'll tell one story, and then I'll tell you really what stuck to me a lot was, they would get up at 3 in the morning, man, 3 in the morning, and she was a kid. She was around 9, 10 years old, 11. And they would get up at 3 in the morning and go to the fields, pick cotton, pick corn. They go, milk the cows and, do all these different chores and that they had to do, every single day around the house, every single day, and she was a kid. And she, the one thing, and like I said, the stories that she told me and what they did, I mean, that's not really the most important thing for me, but when she spoke about her granddad, so my great granddad, when she spoke about him, and she would say, she said, Damarcus, she's like, my grandfather was an amazing man. He was a hard worker. He was smart. He was creative. He did everything he could, for his family. And I'm talking about, this is back then when they, a week they would get $1.50. Sometimes $1.50 for the week. You know what I'm saying?
This is your mother's side, yeah?
Yeah, this is my mother's side. And for him, and she told me that, he never talked back. He was, he's very respectful. And then sometimes, obviously,
that means grandma wasn't playing.
Yeah, and sometimes his master was, wasn't as bad, and he would give him little breaks. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes every Sunday, not every Sunday, but sometimes some Sundays, he would let her granddad take the car and take them to church. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the type of family that I have. You know what I'm saying? Like the hardworking. Because my family, they didn't really own much. They didn't really own much land or anything like that. That some other, black people that were fortunate to have that. We didn't have that one. My family, but to hear her talk about him and to really understand who I am as a person, as a black man growing up, and I felt so much pride being a part of this family. You know what I'm saying? All that they sacrificed. You know what I'm saying, for me. For my brother, even for my mom, my dad, all the things that they did, all the stories she told me, it all brings me back to who I am today.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? And
you think it's incredible that, like, one, that you have lineage that was alive back then that can recount to you all that stuff that happened.
Exactly.
Because there's a lot of people that have an assumption of what happened in their past, but they don't have anyone to actually tell them or dictate, this actually happened. And I think that's a blessing. That you can actually trace it back and pinpoint and get details and have stories from first-hand accounts. That's awesome, man.
Yeah. So for me, this day means, for me, it's a sense of pride of being a part of, my family. Listen to her stories, listen to how she spoke about, my great granddad, and how he was as a man, and how he did everything for his family to provide for his family, even though they didn't have much. But he did everything he could. He would work overtime. He was respectful. He didn't cause no troubles. He was a man's man. He did his job. He did everything he could to make sure that his family, were doing it in the right ways, and they were treated right. And around and that's when obviously my great aunt, they moved up north to try to get a better life, and then that's how it kind of all started. So for me, that's what it means to me. Just, a sense of, not even a sense, all pride being a part of this family, and, really understanding where I came from and who I am, as a man, and how I became, Damarcus. So for me, it was amazing to speak to her and to really understand, who I am.
Big shouts to B, man.
Can we get a round of applause for that?
Hey, big shouts to B. hey, but listen though, it's remarkable that obviously your ancestors worked so hard and did what they had to do, and for you to be able to represent this country on the World Cup level, is the gift, right? And full circle. It's the gift, man. That's what your ancestors worked hard for you to be a person who can hold that flag around your neck, represent it, and be the face. So that's definitely dope. That's definitely dope, and I'm glad for the awareness, man.
Appreciate it.
So that drive, you said it was 45 minutes away from Houston?
Yeah, 45 minutes, about 50 minutes.
Was there other people there, tourists there as well, or
no? It wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't anybody there. I stayed there for a while, took some pictures. Obviously, I sent it to my mom and everybody. But yeah, I stayed there, for a while, just kind of walking around, stood there by the pole, and then I went, to this place called the Aston Villa.
Yes, Aston Villa. Yep.
Yeah, Aston Villa. So I went there as well. It was closed, obviously, because of the the coronavirus. But I went there. There's a statue of the general. I can't remember his name. Holding the announcement paper, the statue of that.
Yeah.
So I took pictures of that. But man, just all that. Being able to experience that and then like I feel stupid that it's been there. The whole time. I never knew. I never knew. So like I said back when I said before, I felt a little bit of disappointment in myself, and my great aunt, she was very quick to shut that down.
Yeah.
Because I told her, the conversation was like a little over an hour. It was an amazing. It was a powerful.
Did you take your daughter with you?
What's that? Yeah, my daughter was with me.
That's dope.
That's awesome.
That's always important, man. That's always important. Yo, fellas, did you see what happened in England with Marcus Rashford from Manchester United? How he U-turned the British government when they were going to take away. What is it, Gooch? Was it after school or free meals for the kids?
Well, yeah. So basically, the government was going to stop giving their vouchers for free meals for the kids for COVID. There's no schools, so they were going to stop the vouchers after the school year was done. Mm-hmm. And Marcus Rashford, he used his platform, he used his voice, and basically got the policy in the government to overturn that, and essentially put 120 million pounds into the COVID summer food fund, right? And that's unbelievable. That's over 1.3 million kids that now will be provided meals, all because this football player, use his voice, use his platform, use his persuasion to everybody's benefit, right? And then it's funny because I salute him. I'm proud of him. He's only 22 years old.
That's the crazy part.
And you have all these people around the world that look at athletes in a negative way. Shut up and dribble. You shouldn't have any kind of voice in politics. Or
exactly
what
I was going to say.
And it's crazy because we're people too. We have voice, we have opinions, and we have the right to use those voices and those opinions for the betterment of the people, and he did exactly that. So,
but B said before about Sancho and McKinney when they made statements about Black Lives Matter and George Floyd that he was surprised at their age, that they were so conscious and care about others and brave enough to take that step. And if you look back in the '60s, what Muhammad Ali went through and others who were trailblazers, they kind of had to ride by themselves. There wasn't people really supporting them, right? It wasn't common. You think LeBron has changed things around? What do you think is why is everybody so conscious?
I think society has changed. I mean, if you think back in the day, even for us, right? We're speaking out now. We're speaking publicly. We weren't that vocal. We hadn't found our voices years ago, perhaps because of fear of repercussions, what's going to happen if we speak up. Mm-hmm. And even more so back in the day in the 60s, 70s, right? Like it was frowned upon. Like we don't care about your opinion, keep it to yourself, or you're going to see what's going to happen, right? And this new generation, these younger kids are bold, and they're bold in a good way, and they're unified, and they're not silenced, and I love it.
Yeah, I think they're sending a very powerful message to the future, of the whole world, not even just in this country. The things that what Marcus Rashford doing, and then like you said, what Gooch said, they're all young. Mm-hmm. They're all young, and they're already stepping up in those kind of big boy roles, and to trying to use their voice for good, and not just kicking a ball or shooting a basketball or hitting a golf ball. It's we're humans, what I'm saying? People have feelings, opinions of what they really, really believe in. And I think, for me doing that at such a young age, man, I applaud it. It's so empowering for me. And I love to see it, not just here in this country, but, everywhere.
Definitely, man. It's funny you said that because that brings us into our segment. Speaking of English Premier League and great players and great clubs, we have the former Arsenal manager, Arsene Wenger, who made a statement. I want you guys to listen to it and tell me what you think. And
I would say football, by essence, is anti-racist. Why? Because you know that no matter if you are the son of a king of England, or if you're black or white or red, if you're good, you play. Mm-hmm. And I would even say that football is an example of how the whole society should work, because it's only based on merit and quality. If you're good enough, you play. And there's inside the game, there's no racism. Around football, in the stands, it happened at some stage, and we've seen it again in England with the England national team in away games. But
yes.
Wow.
Yeah, where do you start?
I'm just surprised because, Wenger has been a person who has so many multiculturals, national team, African, French players in his dressing room, that you would think he'd be a little more conscious of what goes on the field, off the field, and what his players have been dealing with.
Yeah, but you listen to what he said. He said there is no racism
on the field.
On the field.
I think he's trying to say, like, in terms of how he picks a squad, and maybe he's just thinking internal within himself. That's what
I'm saying. He lives in his own bubble.
Yeah, exactly. That's a privilege, right? He doesn't see it, or maybe he chooses not to see it. But
exactly.
For him to be, like you said, a coach that has had so many diverse ethnicities and cultures on his team, to say the only racism in football exists from the fans and outside the pitch, I guess what he's saying, he wants to make it seem like a perfect utopia, but couldn't be further from the truth. I mean, me, myself, I had to file a legal complaint against somebody that called me a dirty monkey multiple times on another player, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm not bringing that up to disprove him, but I'm just saying, like, listen,
it happens all the time.
It exists between the players, not just the fans, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it happens. And the thing is, it happens, not even with teams you're playing against. It's your own teammates.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's your own. They'll make a black joke. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They'll make, some kind of thing that they, especially because it's European. I'm talking about, more European when I was in Europe.
Yeah.
Because they all they know is what they see on TV.
Right.
Yes.
That's all they know. They hear on, with music and this and that. And I'm not giving them the benefit of the doubt, because you should know right from wrong. You should know what something would mean to someone if you said something offensive. You know what I'm saying? They're not kids. But
this goes back to the problem. Now, the problem is, no offense to Arsene Wenger, one of the best managers ever, Arsenal Gunners.
So because you're Arsenal.
But in seriousness, is you have a 70-year-old man who's out of touch. Right?
Out of touch.
And the problem is, these are the people who are head of the FIFA board. These are people who are making the decisions. And they thinking that, oh, no, black player's playing. Black player has an endorsement deal. There is no racism going on.
There is no racism. Yeah.
What do you mean? We gave him money. He got money. There's no racism going on.
Right. It only happens from the fanatics, right? It's only the fans that are causing. Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. I know for facts, and Beasley, I know I'm not gonna say names, but you've played with cats.
Yeah.
In England.
Yeah.
Wait, this is a crack. We don't say names?
I didn't play with the man, so if Bees wants to say anything, he can say. But I know for sure there's people out there within teams, or even just some negative stigmas, right? And like when I was in Spain, for example, at Malaga, and maybe they have no malice in it, and maybe it's just habitual, but they always call white players by their name. They always call black players negro.
Yeah.
Like, give me the ball, negro. And I remember, and I love this guy. He's a legend, funny as hell. His name's Joaquin, and love him to death. Funniest guy in the world. And I know he had no malice in it. And I stopped him, and I picked up the ball. I said, "My name is Gucci, and that's the last time you call me negro." And he was like, "Papi, tranquilo." He's like, "Oh, joder, tío, ¿qué pasa?" And I was like, "No, I understand. You didn't know before now, but now that I explained to you, don't ever call me out of my name."
Yeah.
And that's just the habit in their culture. Like, it was acceptable for them to not call Bees Damarcus and could just call him negro, pass me the ball.
That was the same. Go ahead, Gooch.
No, I'm just saying, like, it happens. It's there.
Yeah, and that's the same. I would say the same in Mexico. You know what I'm saying? Like Gooch said, it wasn't no malice. But I mean, I didn't stand up and say, don't call me negro. But I would always give them that kind of look when they said it. I know they didn't mean anything by it. You know what I'm saying? I know they didn't mean anything by it. But then after that, they started just calling me Bees. You know what I'm saying? But when I first got there, same thing happened to me. Negro, negro.
Yeah.
and it was every single black player. It wasn't just me. I was like, hold on.
Yeah.
and you got Isco over here asking for the ball. They say Isco. They'll say Blanco or nothing like that. I'm like, what's going on, Pop?
Hey, you see, he trying to put out names that he played with. Right?
Yeah. Isco.
Isco. Oh, they go Isco over there. Like, I'll play with Isco.
Right after Mookie just said, say the names. So I'm giving you the names. Now I say the names and I'm calling people out, right?
I'm just saying.
He's observing. He's observing.
Yeah. Damned if you do.
I'm listening to the conversation. That's all I'm saying.
You know what? I'm happy you can listen this time because your headphones work.
Hey, I got my cord, dog. I'm good. I'm good to go now.
Nah, but I think Arsene Wenger is malinformed to make such a. I'll go as far as say ignorant. Ignorant public statement as racism in football only exists outside of the field. That's silly. There's a number of players that have either threatened to walk off the field or have actually walked off the field because of words or actions from opposing teams, not opposing team fans, but the opposing team players. So. Yeah.
And I even go a little bit further. I know, Book, you want to go on, but I even go a little bit further because I read a little bit more of that, what he said, in that quote. And he brought up Sol Campbell, that Sol Campbell's a coach and, he's doing well and hope he gets that. He named one black person. One black person.
I got a black person.
Exactly. There you go. But I wanted him like all the things y'all said about Wenger. You know what I'm saying? Like he should be aware of what he's actually saying, this and that. Like I want him to say, I would as a black man, as a ex-player, I want him to say, I want there to be more. I wish there was
not enough.
It's not enough. You know what I'm saying? Why isn't he saying that? He just said, oh yeah, this it's not racist. I mean, look, they got Sol Campbell coaching.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Here's the lick. He can name Sol Campbell. Can he name all the white coaches? Yeah. Too many.
Yeah.
Too many. Yeah, but exactly. I can definitely pinpoint how many black coaches. Sol Campbell, right there, boom.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So I look at him, and obviously now he works for FIFA and being one of the leaders of football, he's still clueless. He's a great manager. Sorry, great manager. Whatever he did at Arsenal and all that stuff, great. But when it comes to actually understanding the problem of society, what we live in, and what we're going through, he's far off the mark, bro. Far off the mark.
Yeah, fellas, I got one more to play for you, just because it's relevant, right? It's from Maurice Adu, a friend to the room, and he was on BR Football, and he gave a statement.
I'd be curious to see how many black people were in those conversations when they're writing up this legislation, when they're having these conversations about how should we go about when the kick racism out of football campaign is developed. I want to know how many black people are sitting at that table saying like, hey, these are the thoughts of our community of what we think. We're the one. A lot of us are the ones that are experiencing this. We're the ones that are having bananas being monkey noise being chanted at us, and then being told not to walk off the pitch because that looks like we're abandoning our teammates and not showing support for our team. So I'd be curious to know how many representatives of us are at that table saying like, this ain't good enough. I'd be damned if you told me there were any. Let me not speak out of turn, but I'd be if you said that there were people of color at that table and they were saying, yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, give them 3 strikes. Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. And the reason I played that clip because I think it's relevant, right? And to be talking about Arsene Wenger, right? In terms of you have these people who are making these statements and they're not a target audience. They don't have to go through what we go through. So how do you know? And dealing with FIFA and dealing with, I think Mo hit it on the head. You have people who are making judgments or giving punishment for people who are kick against racism, but nobody on the board is of color or is diverse.
Yeah, there's no one there telling them that that's not good enough. There's a group of white men sitting around the table saying, just like Mo said, 3 strikes, that should be good enough. But there's not someone or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, people of color saying, no, this I've been through this. I played in this. I don't want to experience this again. This shouldn't happen. Not even in, we're talking about football, but not even in society. So this needs to be a punishment where, they're kicked out of football for life.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be in the stadium. Or if it's a team, they, whatever the fine, not even the fine, not even $20,000 fine, but $20,000 fine. Sorry. But, stiff penalties where, they can't, play for a year or 2 years or whatever, but really have penalties that, really mean something and it can make a difference and kick racism out of football.
Reach. Y'all see the EPL and all the players kneeling before the game?
Yeah, that was cool. Nah, but the biggest thing for me is seeing an Arsenal jersey that said Black Lives Matter.
Man, anyway.
How you gonna
let me live?
You gonna transform to this.
Bees, can you be the host from now on?
Let me live.
I'm just gonna mute. Just put Mookie on mute. Can I do that?
You muting me because of Arsenal? You that much of an Arsenal hater, huh?
Yeah.
Haters, man.
We about to talk.
We talking about Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
You bringing in Arsenal.
I'm just saying, Arsenal jersey. That's the game I watch, and that's what made me proud.
The thing is, your king, Arsene Wenger, is the one that we just shitted on 2 seconds ago.
I'm gonna take care of Wenger. He needs some talking to. We have a call set up for next Tuesday. But that was the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. To have Black Lives Matter on English Premier League. I just think they set the tone for every league, and I'm so excited to see what MLS is gonna do because the pressure is on.
Yeah. What do you think they will do?
Well, right now they just publicly put an announcement saying that they recognize the Black Player Coalition, and so that's a first step, right? Yeah. And that's definitely a first step is acknowledging, like we always say, and recognizing. Definitely that's a big step, but we got to see the actions. What's that going to mean in the coming months, in the coming years?
Yeah.
But the imagery from this weekend in the EPL was strong.
Huge.
It was strong, not just from the Black players, but from all the players, right?
Even the referees.
Even the referees. And
they didn't. Yeah.
It's so crazy. Like this originated in America.
Yeah. Yet
it's felt over there. And it's like, it's almost felt in unison and without question. Yet over here in our own country, it's a subject of controversy, right? It's like, why are they doing that when everybody else understands it? How come you can't understand what's going on in your own home?
Mm-hmm. Right. So, I mean, it seems like everyone understands it's a society problem.
Yes.
Except for Americans.
Yeah. And also, I want to say that they also had the heart patch for the national healthcare workers. I think that was amazing as well. And that was terrific. But I think the games is going to take a little while for the teams to get used to. It looked like a lot of teams are still stuck in preseason mode.
Look like David Luiz is still stuck in preseason mode. Go on, boy.
Listen. I'm gonna make a statement. I want you to hear me out, right?
Oh, good.
Before you make a statement, I need to ask you, in your lifetime as a footballer and a fan and watching football, have you ever seen...
I played football too. I just want to let you know that too.
I said footballer. Why is he so sensitive?
Yeah, he did say footballer though.
I said footballer.
Yeah, I know. He said, you said it.
Thank you, B. I appreciate it. Go ahead.
Have you ever seen such a downward spiral in 25 minutes of entering a game?
Unfortunately, yes. Right, we all saw horror shows of players that came on.
No. I need an example then.
But let me ask you a question first, Goose. Right?
I'm stuttering.
Do you feel as a center back who doesn't start, your mind is not really there in terms of getting into? I'm asking a question. I'm just asking a question as a center back.
You making an excuse? I'm
having a conversation, sir.
You making excuses.
Can we have a conversation? Can we have a conversation? Thank you.
I'll answer.
I appreciate that.
I don't think it's fair or smart to differentiate a center back from a striker to a midfielder, right? It's going to be difficult for anybody to enter a game at high speed. That's the name of the game. But that's the profession.
And you playing Man City.
Yeah, but that's the profession he's in. So when I get upset and annoyed as players, and it's happened in my career that, they're not starting, right? Or they're not playing. They're always bitching like the coach doesn't like me. I'm better than this guy. I'm better than this guy. I should be playing. They get their opportunity and they shit the bed.
Yeah.
And then they blame it. It's because the game I hadn't played in so long. And I'm like, wait, you're making an excuse that you haven't been playing. Once you get your opportunity, you make the excuse that you haven't been playing, which is why you weren't playing, and expect because of your poor performance, you're going to play more and get there. No, you got to be prepared, man. And David Luiz is not a rookie. He's a freaking international star. He's played at some of the best teams. He's played on the best national team, arguably.
It has made many mistakes, especially in the World Cup.
I don't know how this man has freaking 9 lives. He's got a 40. He's got 9 lives. He's got a 4-leaf clover in his stock. How does someone go from top team to top team to top team?
I have another mistakes. I have another question. I have another question, Goose. Right now, as a center back, he's a ball as a midfielder, right?
Right.
The ball that Kevin De Bruyne gave with the spin off the grass, the side spin. It's a difficult ball to receive, though, Goose.
Bro,
right?
He was trying to collect it on the outside of his thigh.
Yeah, but listen though, if it was a regular ball with a top spin, the ball would have bounced in front of him.
Yeah, he doesn't even believe.
And it was raining, raining too. So that you have to take consideration, man. I'm trying.
I'm gonna call you a victim.
Yeah, you are
trying, bro. I'm trying.
You are.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying, man. We had him for the first 25 minutes too. We had him. I said, just go into the halftime. We good.
This
Let's
man
get into the half.
He forced error causes the goal. Forced error penalty. Red card.
What do you think about that penalty? That was soft though.
He pulled him down from behind.
Yeah,
he got beat on the turn.
Brushed his shoulders off, bro, man. He was popping his collar. Get out of here, man.
He got beat on the turn. Turned like a boat. Beat on the turn.
Yeah.
Hand on the shoulder for about 4 seconds.
Wow.
Before the guy went down.
He said, wow. Like,
you know what they say?
Like, you don't agree.
They said his contract is over at the end of the month, so he might not even.
No, it's a wrap for that dude. He's no way. You can't come back from that. It's over.
Yeah, but 2 weeks ago, Arteta was singing a different tune.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because in preseason he did some foo-foo-ness too. He's trying to juggle in the midfield.
Yeah, but dude said he wanted to renew his contract.
Yeah, but
I heard
what money though?
I heard Madrid's about to sign him.
Oh goodness.
Which Madrid? Delaware? FC Madrid in Delaware? I know, a wicked men's team, FC Madrid in Delaware. That is crazy, man. Nah, but you're right, man. I mean, I think his EPL career as a whole is a wrap. He has to go to China, somewhere where the time cone.
He needs to go to Qatar. Go to Saudi Arabia.
Watch he come play for Philadelphia Union though. How about that?
Straight up and be DP. And be DP as a striker. And that's a good signing.
But I just want to proudly introduce a friend to the room, somebody who has traveled the world and also played in 4 big leagues in Europe and scored over 10 goals per season. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for the world famous, I call him the Prince, Mr. Salomon Kalou. My brother, can you hear us?
He's having technical difficulties like me.
Nah, man. Salah.
What's up, my brother?
What's up, family?
There he is.
Hey, Beasley, what's up, bro?
What's up, man? How you doing? Yeah, good, man. You? Good to see you.
Yeah, pleasure to see you, man. Long time.
Yeah, long time, man. See, you got on your Prince clothes. You look good.
Prince print.
I'm trying.
Yeah, I feel you.
If you don't know about Salah's fashion wear, I mean, you need to check out his Instagram or catch this man in person. My boy is down to the T, always, and stays fresh. You know what I mean?
Word.
Listen. I'm trying to catch up with this and Corey and.
Kalou, do you know Oguchi Onyewu? Have you guys met?
Yeah, I think when he was playing for in England, we play.
Oh, Newcastle.
Against Newcastle.
We've crossed paths a couple times.
Yeah.
We've crossed paths.
Yeah, I play against him.
I don't think he was able to score.
Did he kick you?
Listen, I was so scared of go close to it. It was too strong, so I was scared.
Hey, Kalou, I just want to get you the proper. Again, we're here to give the flowers to the players that before you. People that we really respect. We want to make sure we give you the proper. Even though you're our brethren, you're our friend. I mean, you've played. What league? English Premier League, Bundesliga, Dutch League, French League.
I start with Beasley and the Holland and Dutch league.
Hey, we gonna get to that point. We gonna get to that point. But brother, you've won an African Cup of Nations. You've won a Champions League. You've won an FA Cup. You was Dutch footballer talent of the year. I mean, how do you feel as a footballer at this point, playing right now at Hertha Berlin? In terms of your journey, do you ever look back and realize what you have accomplished?
Yeah, I mean, it's like a blessing, you know.
Gucci jinxed him about the Beasley thing.
Just football. It's just like something you watch on TV.
Yeah.
And you know, it's not every time that we watch every single game. So for me, it was a dream come true. So to come to the Premier League, playing all those big games, playing the big club. So looking back, I appreciate, and I'm like, okay, there is a long way. I come far away from home, so I feel proud of that.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, so Salah, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what's been going on in EPL with the actually not EPL, actually EPL and Bundesliga. With the Black Lives Matters movement and the acknowledgement of what's going on here in the States.
Of course.
You're a person who's always expressed his voice and always been conscious of the society and what's going on. How do you feel about it, and what are they saying in Germany?
I mean, Germany is the country where they try to, you know, we all know the story of Germany. Me being living from Germany for so long, I think the German people learn about their mistake, and they learn about equality and about how race is not the most important thing to be. You know, it's like we all equal and we all try to make the best of situation that we have. And since I'm in Germany, I know they've been doing a lot of effort here to make people feel like, you know, they're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
They're making people feel like there is a place for everybody.
Yeah.
So knowing that situation, I'm not surprised about how Germans react about the situation. Everybody was on board with the situation, and you can tell how people came out to support the movement.
Mm-hmm.
And Berlin was one of the cities where the most people came out to support that matter. So I wasn't surprised. I wasn't surprised at all, because I see how people think. I've been around. I see how people feel. And this is it makes me feel good about humanity. It makes me feel good about, you know, regardless what, we always have some minority of people with a closed mindset.
Mm-hmm.
But there's always people who feel like we need to do better. We need to be feeling that every life, and especially we as Black, we come from a long way. And we also contribute to the development of the humanity, so we matter, and that's what makes me feel good.
So in Germany, obviously, I think, like you said, you're not surprised, and they're doing their part. You know, since you've been there, it's been like 6 years almost since you've been there?
6 years. Yeah, 6 years. 6 years.
Have you experienced anything in terms of racial bias or actions from? I'm not going to say from fans, because I can almost assume that, but from teammates maybe, or other teams that you played against?
To be honest with you, I'm going to say that since I'm here, maybe I came in the right time. Maybe I came in the moment where people think differently. And Berlin, because it's a multicultural city, mm-hmm. I never personally experienced anything like that. Mm. And also with my teammate, we have like a good connection and stuff like this. So I never have that experience personally. But I cannot speak for everybody. I can speak for myself.
Right.
And I know that in Berlin, people are getting in the situation where everybody have his spot, where you can, as a Black, as a whatever you stand for, you can have a word, you can have your word, you can put your word out, and Berlin is a city for that. When it comes to the fact that there is always those people who always have their mind that they're always superior on the black race. I know that exists, and because the skinnyheads in Berlin, we know that exists, but I'm not gonna dwell on that because I've come across a lot of people who support and embrace the racial barrier. So right. I like to speak on more on that than other minority.
Negative, yeah,
negative, because the thing is, people always want to give the platform for the minority for negative.
Yeah,
and they're not always the people who, they're not always the people who have the who make decision, who make things, the power. So
I think you hit on the head though, that Germany, they make a very conscious effort to realize that they made a mistake, right? And they're ashamed of it. And here in America, while slavery was abolished and we're on Juneteenth, I find it that we kind of like put it to the side and we kind of like cover it up, but we never corrected it or kind of faced it. Still waving the Confederate flag and so many other things that's rooted in our society that reflects that era in a negative passion. While Germany wiped it slate clean and started from scratch, and they never rejected it.
Yeah, that's true. Because the difference with America and Germany right now is that when you have a leader who are like putting oil on the fire every day, that make it easier for the minority to feel like they are on the power. But in Germany, they don't have that. So they have to hide, they have to wait for the right moment to come out. And that's the only difference with Germany and America. Because in Germany, they don't have like that leader, that power leader who come out in the street sometime and say,
makes them feel comfortable in the tower.
Exactly. And that's the difference.
Yeah. Nah, you're right.
And traveling to the States for so many years in your off season or when you can, and having family here, have you ever experienced any interaction with police officers? Any negative interaction with police officers?
I was always prepared for that. So.
but see, that's the thing, though. You have to be prepared.
Listen, you got to be prepared. I know when I come there, when I see police, every time I see police, I make sure I go back. I make sure I go back to my hotel. I don't want
no problem.
No problem.
I'm just there to have a good time. And, when I feel the vibes, I guess I gotta get away from that.
But talking about vibes, I mean, we have to speak on the situation that's currently going on with you in Hertha Berlin. If once people don't know, during the virus, your club decided to suspend you for the rest of the season. For something that you think they were making. I think my personal opinion is that they were making you out, because of the timing. It was a perfect to say, let's make an example of this individual to scare everybody else off. You mind me telling everybody what happened? I mean, what I read in the newspaper, because we haven't had a conversation about this, was supposedly you got tested and your results came back negative, and you were on live and you went around the room greeting your fellow teammates and not social distancing.
I know. I mean, I understand where people coming from. If you come from outside, you can probably understand why the club will act like that. By the end of the day, people have to understand it was in the dress room. In a dress room, we don't have a code. There was no code in the dress room. There's never have a code in the dress room where, okay, you should stay 2 meters, you should say hi to your teammates. There was not that. So it was not that I went out of the street and I was doing that. Right. It was just in the dress room. Looking back, I understand that, okay, the Bundesliga have to start. People was looking forward to the league to start. They were not sure because of the corona and stuff. I understand why the club react that way. But
let me ask you a question, though. If you can't greet your fellow teammates in the dressing room, how are you going to play on the field at practice?
it don't make sense. But at the end of the day,
do you think they were making an excuse, just trying to make an excuse or an example?
It was so fresh,
and
they want to play the league so fast, that they were like, "Yo, here's the problem. We're gonna deal with it. Every player will make a mistake like that. We're gonna deal with it." So it was like a kind of an example, but at the end of the day, people don't understand it was in the dress room, and the next day after the suspension, it was the same way I'd rate my teammate to say, "Oh, good luck, make good season." It was the same way.
Same way.
So I get it. I understand it. It's part of the game.
It's the business of it, man. It's the money behind it. It's the money behind it.
It's a way of doing with the business, like you said. And me playing for Europe and in the European League for so long, I understand that when the business is important, the player don't matter. So
there you go.
Hey,
I get it.
And talking about playing in Europe so long, Salah, the first time I recognized you, obviously playing in the Dutch league as a youngin', and you tearing up the league. Is it true that you saladed Damarcus Beasley?
No, it wasn't him.
Listen,
it was Corey. It was Corey.
Listen.
Wait, that did what?
Salad.
Yeah, go ahead, Salah. I'll let you go first, and I'm gonna
go. Listen, Beasley almost take the Holland Cup from us. Yeah, you remember that game?
Yeah, I remember.
Final and the card, and Corey gave the ball to this.
Hold on. Listen. I refuse to let you talk about Gilly when he's not here. Corey Gibbs when he's not here.
But hey, it's on tape. It's on tape, so it happened. It's on tape.
I always tell Corey that. I say, because of you, I never won the cup. And
and because of Corey, we did win the cup. So there you go.
Yeah.
So what happened?
Yeah.
He gave it to a player. And
No. So what happened was we had the ball. We're attacking real quick. We were attacking on our right side, and Farfan had the ball. He played it back to he was kind of by on the corner of the 6. So he cut it. He cut it back. You know, he was close to the goals, but he cut it back to Ji-Sun Park, and Ji-Sun Park, tried to shoot it. The goalkeeper stopped it. So he stopped it, but he stopped it right in the middle of the goal. And obviously Corey is a center back, so Corey took a touch instead of just kicking it out. Yeah, instead of kicking it out, Corey took a touch, and then he slipped. And who was there to kick the ball right into the open net?
Listen. Who was there? His boy was there to score the goal against us.
Yeah, I was right there to slot the goal, and that was what Salah. That was 1-1, right? That made it 1-1. Yeah, they were winning 1-0. It was like the 83rd minute, something like that.
Like last minute, and then they won on penalty.
And then we won on penalties.
Listen,
man, he pulled a classic Arsenal David Luiz.
Hey. Hey, listen, man. This brings us to our segment called Hit Him Up. We're going to call Corey. He got to defend himself, man. I'm going to call Corey right now. Hold on, man. This man got to defend himself. Can you guys hear it?
Yeah.
Gilly.
What's up, man?
Gilly, I'm on the podcast, man, with these jokers, and they talking about you and this game in Holland, this cup game, and I refuse to have them talk about you without you defending yourself, my brother. Everybody, let's welcome to the podcast. Get a big round of applause, please, for super agent, former U.S. national team player. Give it up for Corey Gibbs.
Hey, Mookie.
What's up?
How about we hang up and start this conversation all over again? Because I don't want to hear that he's relishing in this memory. And I know SK is there to support me, so I'm not even worried about it.
He's not supporting you right now.
He's not supporting you.
He said it's your reason why he never won a cup in Holland.
Yeah, right. What's going on, fellas?
We chilling, man.
Yeah, good, bro.
Yeah.
So Gilly, real talk, man. So Beasley just explained pass to pass and blade to blade of what happened in this situation. But you playing against one of your best friends in Holland, how did that feel to have a situation in the, was it cup semifinal? Cup semifinal. Yeah, man.
Well, let me tell you something. You know, there's multiple sides to every story, right?
True.
We just heard two of them.
I know B's unexpressed his. B's probably elaborated on his story. My story which is a true story. My story, which is a true story, is when the ball was coming across me. When I was going for the ball, I wasn't wearing studs that game, and I slipped and dude had a tap in.
I did say you slipped. Did I not say that?
You said it.
No, you did. I did say that.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did say that.
What I would say is everything happens for a reason, because I didn't play in the finals. Mm-hmm. I ended up playing that national team game against England, and that's how I got overseas.
Money.
So, he won a Dutch Cup. I went to the Prem, and then he met me over there. And then he met me over there shortly after.
So Gilly, yourself and Kalou first met each other playing for Feyenoord. What was Kalou like as a player when he first got there?
Hey, listen, honestly, I'm not saying this because he's on the phone, but it was a blessing, honestly, because I remember Bees was over there before me, probably like 6 months before, and me and Bees used to talk, and it was always my dream to get back overseas and play at a higher level, and then Feyenoord called me and said that they really wanted to do the deal, and I had to push it through one day before transfer deadline. And when I got there, SK was the first one I met at the team hotel. And then the craziest thing is relationships. Doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter what language you speak. It just goes off a natural bond, right? And SK didn't even speak English. I didn't speak French. I didn't speak Dutch.
I didn't speak no English. No
English. Zero.
He was saying,
not one word. Exactly. But we hung out every flipping day like we were from the same village.
Yeah. Every day I go to his house, to his place. This guy will be cooking. He's like, yeah, my boy, I'm going to cook for you. Come here, I'm going to cook. And I'm like, what is he talking about? I don't understand. No English, no nothing. It's crazy.
But hey, Kalou, Salah, I got a question.
Yeah.
So not because he's on the phone, but I really, because Gilly thought, he was friends with Beckenbauer. That's how he thought he was as a defender.
Here we go.
So I want to hear from a player that, trained with him every day, was with him every day. Because I don't, play with him with the national team, so it's different for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But when y'all were together in Feyenoord, was Corey Gibbs a good soccer player? Be honest.
Honestly.
He hesitated.
He's like, honestly, this guy and training ground, when we're playing and training, like it's just not serious training. He would kick me everybody. Like
everybody.
Every tackle, he will make every tackle. Mm-hmm. Then after the training, he's like, oh, no, don't worry, my boy. I'm preparing you for the game. So you'll be ready for the game. So he kicked me so much. So when I come in the game, it make it easy for me, because it was always in my back. Because Corey is the kind of defender, it doesn't matter who you are, it will always make difficult for you. And that's what I like about him as a defender. It will make it easy on you.
Right.
You might
the Corey Gibbs.
Yeah, you and that's what make Corey a great defender, because he never give up on any striker. It doesn't matter if you're the best or the worst, you're gonna play the same way.
Yeah. That's what's up.
Salah, how much he pay you for that?
Corey? Listen, apart the moment where I give the ball to Beasley to score the goal, and I didn't win the cup, I think Corey did great in finals. That's all.
Gilly, did the fans turn on you after that game? Did you find anything different from the fans?
Shortly after, it was tough. We were in a position where we should have gone to the finals, and we should have won it. We knew whoever won that match was going to win the cup. Simple as, right? Yeah. Two best teams were playing outside of Ajax was knocked out.
Gilly. So this is the Crack Podcast, right? So we real. No.
Keep it real here.
We real. We tell stories.
Let him have it.
What happened after the game? You want me to tell it, or you gonna tell it?
All right. I'm going to tell my side of the story.
Like a lawyer.
I'm going to tell my side of the story.
Go on, then.
So the games at Feyenoord, obviously, we're playing at home. Bees came in. I think my brother flew into town. Mad people were there.
His people came to the game in the stadium, so it was already planned that like, okay, regardless of what happens, we're still going to be touching the road. We're going to do something. We're going to go out after the game. We're going to go out after. So we lose. I'm in depression. SK, if I remember correctly, we couldn't even leave the stadium for like 45 minutes to an hour because our fans are outside about to kill us. So
of course,
I hit these. I'm like, these.
It's a big game.
It's a big game. Hey, so I hit B's. This is my side of the story, which is the true side. I hit B's. I'm like, B's.
Yeah, okay.
It's not a good idea. It's not a good idea to go out there. Like, hell no, Gilly. We almost find a stadium. I'm already making my way there. I'm coming straight there. I'm like, oh hell. So anyway, long story short, we go out. And the fans are just went absolutely nuts on me inside that club.
Yo,
absolutely nuts.
Yo, you're lying. At the club?
Dog, killed him.
They killed me. Oh, kill me.
Yo,
they was.
What? That's normal though. That's normal though. That's normal.
No. The night of the game, not the day after. The night.
You didn't get a table all the way in the back, like a private seating table.
This man was in the middle of the club.
Nah, but you gotta know Corey liked the middle table.
He loved the middle table. He loved the middle. Nah, we gotta be in the action.
Yeah,
he love it.
So they hated me because I played for PSB, but they hated him more because he was out the night of the game. They lost the semifinal against us, and he gave me the damn goal.
And we're both in there.
Yeah. You got 5 North fans. You got 5 North fans in the club asking you why you hanging out with this club.
Exactly.
This club.
True.
That was a rough one.
Yeah, man.
But tough pill to swallow.
But I admire the friendship you guys have and the bond you guys have kept throughout the years. You know, I think it's been very special. What do you think happened, or besides coming over and eating Corey's good cooking? Shout out to his mom, she taught him well. But Gilly, what do you think with blending you guys so well and kept the strength?
What, me and F-Play?
Yeah.
The situation like at Feyenoord, we had, as much as we were bonded, we like every team, but mostly at Feyenoord, we had our, I think SK could agree to it, we had our, our little like pockets, right? So like we had the foreigners that always stuck together. We had the Dutch players that usually stuck together. When it came to the foreigners, it was always our clique that we had. And we were all tight-knit, and we all like were on the same page with stuff. And it translated over to the coaching staff and the first team staff too. I'm not trying to call anybody out of fighting, but it's the truth, right? We had Ruud Gullit was our coach, but the people on top of him were very Dutch mentality, Dutch oriented, and the reality was we had so many foreigners on our team that started to affect like what the upper staff were thinking of us, Mm-hmm. But what got us through everything was, I think, us as foreigners, we stuck together. And we were all fighting for the same cause. And we all wanted to fight for good and then too. Yeah,
definitely. Man.
So I think that was the biggest.
Of course. I think also because Corey coming from America and me from Africa, like African, we always seen the Afro-American like our big brothers. You know, it's always been so. So coming to find out, seeing this guy, we bond straight away, and like you say, Gullit was the coach, and it's not always that you have a black coach and this kind of team. So we feel like our goal is to make it work together as a team. Like we have that little team to say let work together so we can make that work for us. Because if you work, we work. Good. If it's good for Corey, it's good for me. It's good for Gullit, it's good for all of us. So we always have that bond between each other. We never talk about it, but it was a natural bond that you always have a backing of man. Yeah. I need to make it work for my brother.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, before we let you go, Corey, I want you to help us speak a little bit about the initiatives that Salomon Foundation has taken in Ivory Coast, where I've been waiting to get invited
Me too.
Yo, Corey.
No. You can invite me.
Corey invites me when he gets there. He's like, "Oh, y'all, man, Ivory Coast, you come down." I'm like, "What happened?" Right? Or the night he does this. He calls you the night before. Yo, you want to go? I'm going about Ivory Coast. You want to
go? That's Corey. Corey always invite me last minute too. I feel like that. Last minute.
But Kalou, I have diabetes, and I heard that you provide dialysis center in is it your hometown, or what city is that in Ivory Coast?
In Abidjan. Yeah.
So tell us about how that started and why did you take that initiative?
It started like 10 years ago. This year we're celebrating our 10 years anniversary. Beautiful. And I think we start because every time I go back home for national team, I get like a letter in the lobby for people who want me to help. Like, oh, we need to go to the hospital. We need hospital bill, and I'm like, okay, I don't feel like I'm reaching and touching a lot of people by helping those people who send me letter. So what I need to do is to create something really formal where I can reach many people that possible.
Yeah.
So we decided to create a foundation 10 years ago. And the main thing was a girl that she was actually, when I met her, she was like 14. And she have a kidney disease where she needed dialysis. So when we decided to do that, it's because of her. Because when I met her, she couldn't do any dialysis because she have no parents. She have nobody to help her. So I decided to create that foundation actually for her. That I started.
Oh, gotcha.
Awesome. Wow, that's beautiful, man.
So when I create that, we build those dialysis center where people can go and have dialysis for free. And it went like that. Every year we did like a raising fund charity dinner where people can come and donate and create it. A little awareness about the disease, because in Africa sometimes people hear about the disease, but because it's not touching them, they don't feel part of it.
Yeah.
Right.
So we have to bring the awareness of that listen, doesn't matter if you're sick or not, there is people around you who are affected. So let's get together and raise a fund to create those centers where people can get treated.
Yeah, that's great.
Tell our listeners where they can go and donate, or a website, or how they can find more information.
There is it. And the Kalou Foundation. Okay. The Kalou Foundation is like the official website of the foundation where people can donate. So, and then we create many centers. We create another city of Ivory Coast, which is a Boaké, is another large city of the country, the second large city of the country. So we create the center where people can get dialysis. But because what happened is everybody who was sick about needed dialysis need to go to Abidjan, which is like 3-5 hours drive to come and get just 3 weeks. And the week you need to have like at least three dialysis, because you need to change the blood. Treatment, you need to change the blood. It's like it takes at least 5 hours to change, because it's a circle. You
in and out.
Take the blood. Yeah, they take the blood and they put the new blood, and it's a very, very complicated
procedure.
Yeah.
But listen, I know Gilly has to run. Gilly, thank you for clarifying. I couldn't let you go out like that. My brother had to hear from you first and represent yourself. You know what I mean?
All good, man. Thanks for having me.
All right, brother. Respect. Love us, love.
Yeah, Corey.
Y'all be.
Salah, man, you're here now. You know, unfortunately, you have a paid vacation for the rest of the season. What are your plans next, brother?
Oh, my plan is like to wait. With this pandemic around, it's difficult to kind of have a plan to plan out what you want to do. But my main goal is to wait. Right now, the Premier League is playing. The German League is finished like in 2 weeks, I think. So after that, I have to decide where I want to go and where I want to play maximum. I mean, I don't want to play as long as Beasley.
Why not?
You know,
you can still do it.
Beasley have like some athletic gene, and him that it can go longer than I do. But
he hasn't even told us his real age up until this point. So
I admire Beasley so much. To play that long, you have to respect the guy. You know, that means you have to be mentally and physically prepared to play that long. I know because I've been playing for so long. I know also it's so hard to be every year to be motivated.
Keep it that same level.
It's so difficult.
You say that, but look, you started off at Feyenoord, 69 games, 35 goals.
Jeez.
Chelsea, 156 games, 36 goals.
Yeah.
Lille, 67 games, 30 goals. Hertha Berlin, 148 games, 47 goals.
Yeah.
National team, 97 games, 28 goals.
Yeah.
I think, I'm just saying, if you come to the MLS, I see a lot of goals. I see a lot of goals.
Yes.
Hey, listen, and I know, and Mookie can tell you that I always love to be playing in the MLS. I always enjoy, and I mean that's something I always look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
Right now with that situation of being in the pandemic and Corona stuff.
Fucking with the Corona.
We're not sure if the MLS is gonna start or not. We don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it start. I don't know. I mean, so I have to see if there is opportunity there to play.
Trust me, there's opportunity. We've seen far worse strikers in the
MLS. A lot more.
Get paid a lot of money.
Well, I'm gonna keep it real. I mean, MLS has talked to Kalou in the past about coming to the MLS. He just gets so much money in Germany they couldn't afford him. Keep it real.
I was close to go to San Jose. To be honest, I talked to them. I think it was 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah.
You dodged the bullet, boy.
Yeah, you didn't want to be there.
I wanted to stay in Europe for another 2 years, so that's why I didn't wait.
Yo, Salah, speaking on Europe, man, what do you think is the best league in your opinion in Europe?
Oh, the Premier League for sure.
Over the Bundesliga?
Over the Bundesliga?
No, because I'm gonna say why.
Oh, okay.
Because the Premier League always gonna get the best players. The difference with the Bundesliga is a very stable league.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're gonna always every game you're gonna play, you're gonna be a competitive.
That's what I said.
It's gonna be a difficult game, competitive. It doesn't matter if you play Bayern or you play in Dortmund or whatever team you play, it's gonna be hard. The Premier League, there's so many great names that people get attracted to the names. So that's why it's the best league. But when it come to the game and playing every game, and every game, I play worse. Like my worst game is not even against Bayern. It's always against the small team.
Okay, you say the Premier League is the best league, but what would you say that the German league is the most competitive league? Because for me, the most competitive league is the best league. So would you say Germany?
I mean, people always gonna value where they see the name. To be honest, and that's why people always, and me myself, I always say, oh, the Premier League is the best, because if you take those teams like Manchester City, like Chelsea, like Arsenal, like
he said Arsenal,
Liverpool.
Arsenal. He said Arsenal.
No. But I mean, when I say Arsenal, because you have like player like Aubameyang, Ozil, those are top players.
Kalou, you don't have to explain yourself about Arsenal, right? These guys are just haters, man.
Yeah, Arsenal is like, I mean, they have difficult time, but they still like a team that
let them know.
A top team.
If I remember right, go ahead, Gucci.
No, I wanted to. He's talking about names, and before we get off this topic. The name that brings in my head and a lot of Americans' head is Jurgen Klinsmann.
Yes.
Right? And he was at Hertha Berlin for a short stint. What's your personal opinion of his time spent at Hertha?
Oh, to be honest, I never have like that conversation with Klinsmann man to man to say, I know this guy, I can tell about this guy. As a coach, I never played under him. like that because I was in the transition where I know this the year where I need to go and find another club and play because Hertha was looking for something different. I know that. Klinsmann as a coach, I cannot say anything about him because I never training under him.
You mean not even you were practicing, right?
No, I never. I just have maybe 2 weeks under him, and then after that, I was training by myself.
Oh wow, that's right. They're trying to get you out. Yep.
Yeah, I was training by myself. Okay, apparently he was trying to get me out.
Yeah,
that's what I heard.
But Kalou, you think he just wanted that money, that purse you have, and rather spend it on youth, or was it personal?
No, I think it's just when it comes to the club of Hertha Berlin, it's just like in the end they have a new investor. They have somebody who came with a lot of money, and everybody wanna eat. So they feel like if you know on their radar, or you know on that situation, they don't need you.
Yeah,
it's business. It was business.
Yeah, soccer business.
And me, I told them straight. I say, listen, I'm far experienced. I'm far. I know a lot of things. I've been around. I know I work. So if it's just business, I understand. It's not person. So my talk with Klinsmann was that when he sit down with me and say, yeah, I know we respect you as a player and we know what you bring to the team, but we're looking forward to build something new. I say, listen, you don't have to tell me that. I know from first time when you arrive, I know it's business. Yeah. It's not personal. Yeah. So from there, I know already that he was looking for something new.
Yeah. Do you think that he got do you think his situation and how he left was wrongly done on behalf of the club, and how they kind of said a lot of negative things about him when he left?
Listen, we're talking about the guy who came in the national team of US and put the best scorer in the league outside of the team. So what do you expect? I mean, I didn't expect nothing better than that. I didn't expect compassion, or I didn't expect respect. I guess I know that's what the business is, and for me, it's like he came, he had his idea, he wanted to make it out, to make it work for himself. It's all about himself. So for me,
that's a great point, Kabis. I mean, Salah does kind of represent the Landon Donovan of Hertha Berlin, meaning like he was the kind of the face of the attack, and the person, and he did a similar thing to US. You think that's a method of his coaching strategy?
He did a similar thing in Germany, the Ballack.
Oh,
what do you do to Ballack?
He was the thing.
He was head coach when Ballack got removed from the lineup.
Oh yeah.
Basically, similar to what happened with what he did with Kalou, what he did with Donovan. Meaning, he's coming in, he sees somebody who's a senior on the team, and he's trying to, I guess, restart a whole new platform,
create his own identity outside of those names. So
yeah, I mean,
he's not scared. He's bold.
Yeah. I mean, that's one thing about Jurgen. Yeah, he's bold. He knows who he is. Mm-hmm. He knows he's Jurgen Klinsmann.
Yeah.
That's one thing. He can, like I personally, I didn't have a problem with him. He kind of resurrected my career. You know what I'm saying? But personally, man to man, I don't have a problem with Jurgen. I thought he was fine. But there were certain things, how he, say he didn't know you were watching him, or how he kind of dealt with, people and this and that. You get to feel like, okay, this man, he knows he's Jurgen. He used that to his advantage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
He knows. So
and that's I mean, personally, man to man, I never have a problem with him.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
He talked to me. Hey, Salah, what you want to do after your career? We have a good talk. But what I'm saying is, because it's easier to say, oh, Jurgen is the one who came in and say, Salah have to go out. No. I think the whole club feel like that. So it's not just him. It wasn't just him. They use him as a scapegoat. His Jurgen is big enough to do that. is bold enough to do that. Mm-hmm. But the club didn't have maybe the balls to do that.
Right.
But him as Jürgen, he feel like, okay, let me do it. You all want me to do that? I can do that.
Yeah.
Right.
You know that's what happened. I don't think Jürgen was the man. I cannot come here and blame Jürgen and say, oh, he's the one who started this. No. Because the club, if they feel like, okay, this guy do so much for the club, and we have to give him respect and let him train with the team, not train by himself, they could have also tell Jürgen that. But I think they didn't have the balls to tell that, so the Jürgen make it happen for them.
Yeah. Kalou, when you weren't training with the club, when they decided to separate you and turn you to training, I almost for certain thought you were going to go to West Ham in January. No problem. The club would sell him. No issue. His contract is about to be up. I thought that was a done deal. That's just me reading the headlines. What really happened in January?
Oh, what happened in January was that when West Ham came, they came like too late. Oh. Because by the time doing the paperwork, it was already too late. And that's the thing with the English club. Some of them wait last minute.
They always try to get the best deal at the last
minute.
Yeah. So if they would have come 1 week before, maybe I would have played in West Ham. But they came late. So
were there any other clubs that were close to signing you?
Yeah. The paperwork and all that was already late. So right now, I'm still talking with some few clubs. So I still talk with Leeds club and some club in China. I have a proposal from some club in Brazil. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, and you're free, right? Yeah. So that's gonna be.
Oh yeah, I'm free. I'm free as I'm talking. I'm free. So
make sure you plug that in. He's
free. Yeah. So let's see what happens.
Kalou, I got a quick question because I've only heard a little bit of this story, and maybe you can, because you killed it in Holland, right? You were a legend of Feyenoord, and I heard that, leading up to the 2006 World Cup, you were about to get your citizenship so you can play in the World Cup with Holland.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's true because of obviously, like Corey said earlier, Gullit was my coach, and we all know Gullit play with Van Basten. So Gullit put a word to Van Basten to say, listen, this guy he never played for his country. There is opportunity for him to play for the Dutch national team. So that's how Van Basten called me and say, would you love to play for the Dutch national team? I say, yeah, why not? I mean, I'm here. I've been playing here. I play I start early. I start young in the academy of the Feyenoord team. So I start in the youth league. So why not? I don't mind. And that's how I start the procedure of me being a Dutch player.
Right.
But unfortunately, because it was so public, and I was so young, I was like 18, I was turning 19 that time, and it was so public, it become like a publicity stunt. Like it was like the politics, everybody get involved, and it was an all mess, and the national team coach with Van Basten sent a convocation where I have to go join the national team. But I was just in the country for 4 years. 4 years, and to be Dutch, you have to be there for 5 years and 6 years. And then the minister at that time, the immigration minister was a lady called Verdon. And she was like, oh, this guy, he have nothing to do with Holland. He just want to play in Holland to get a Dutch citizen so he can go to England to play.
That's why.
So,
which is true.
She make it. Which is true. But she make it so difficult. At the end of the day, they didn't accept. They refused the Holland citizen.
Yeah.
But the next year, I end up going to Holland. I end up going to Chelsea, signing to Chelsea.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, everything happened for a reason. this lady say, I'm gonna play for the World Cup. And then, no, one thing she say again, she say, no, it's dangerous if you play for Holland because Holland is in the same group with Ivory Coast.
Yeah.
And that time there was trouble in Ivory Coast about there was a political trouble in Ivory Coast. So she like, yeah, that will bring more problem in Ivory Coast because this guy gonna play against his country in the World Cup, and it's too dangerous. You know, we don't have to be the one. We don't have to be the one to start that. And it was an excuse, I understand, but you know, when it's politics involved, and sport, it never works. It's too dangerous. So I also was happy that it didn't happen because all I want is to play football. When you're young, you don't care about
who you play for.
You don't.
Yeah, you just go and play.
Yeah, you don't really realize what is behind. You just want to play the game. You just want to go and enjoy yourself and do your thing. For me, that's how I see it. And for me, the fact that Van Basten, as a great player he was, called me as goalie to helping me to get in the national team. For me, that was the more important thing in the world. I didn't see it
Respect.
as I didn't see it as I don't want to play for my country. I didn't see it as I don't like my country. I want to play for another country. I didn't see it like that. I see it as good. I see it as Gullit, Van Basten, great players.
Respect.
I used respect, and the fact that this guy called me is even great. So that's how I see it. I never imagined.
Gooch, that team was stacked though that year.
Ooh,
Snyder, all of them.
And he even said the funny thing is, he's like, yeah, you're never gonna use him. Why you want him? He say, yeah, if Kalou come, he play. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah, so then a 19-year-old, you be like, okay, I'm in. I'm in.
I'm Dutch.
Yeah, I'm Dutch. I'm going. I'm ready.
I watch the players. I see Van Persie, Robben. I see Schneider. I see Van Nistelrooy. I see all those strikers. And
was Huntelaar there? Huntelaar?
Yeah, he was there. Yeah. And this guy say, oh, Kalou, if you come, he play. He say,
wow.
And great. I'm like, he say it on TV, and I'm like, okay. Now I wanna.
yeah.
Now I'm Dutch.
I throw my passport away. And I said, Van Basten say I can play, so I wanna be Dutch.
I know.
But
Kay, that must have caused some problems when you started to play for Ivory Coast, right?
Oh yeah. Listen. When I
must have been
back,
like a stepchild.
Oh yeah. Listen, people give me so much trouble. And my first year in the national team, it was like, it doesn't matter how many goals I score, it doesn't matter how much good I play.
Yeah.
Nobody really cared because they're like, this guy didn't want to play with us, so we don't give a fuck. We don't care.
Wow.
So can you imagine you go play for your country, you do your best, and what people have to understand, when you go play for in that time for an African country, you going because you love it. You're not going because the money or nothing. Because the travel is terrible. The organization will be worse.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes you pay your ticket and nobody have to reimburse your ticket. You go.
You pay it.
Yeah. So it wasn't because you're going for the money. It's because you love and because you want to see your family at the game and stuff like that. So it was so difficult in the beginning. But after one season, 2 years, it get back to normal because you win, and people forget about what you said before, what happened before. So,
do you still speak Dutch?
Een beetje. Klein beetje. But I understand more than I speak now because I haven't speak for so long. But now I understand. I understand a lot.
Yeah, ik ook.
Oh yeah.
little bit.
Gooch, I'm sure the Dutch people are sitting here like, what the hell are these guys doing?
But me and Kalou could just have a nice little side conversation in French.
He speaks French a little bit. That's good.
No, I speak.
He's fluent.
I'm Belgian.
Yeah, because he was playing Belgium for long.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So Salah, recently I saw something on Instagram. On Instagram, I'm not sure if it was true. Balotelli spoke about if all the diaspora players from Africa played for Africa or played in the leagues in Africa, that it would help the leagues, help the economy. What's your thought about that?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Is that a real comment though?
Yeah, I already know if it's real, but
did he really say that?
I don't know if he said that.
Instagram posted it. It's real.
But you gotta understand something. Like, okay, Africa is like 54 countries.
Yeah.
Because what people don't understand, they think Africa is a country. Africa is it's like the whole continent is a country. Because when people say Africa, they think it's just a country. But Africa is like 54 countries in a continent. And every continent, like if you go from West Africa, we have the same culture. Like when it comes to the food, the music, the culture, we have similar things. Yeah. But if you go to the South, it's completely different. Mm-hmm. If you go to the East, it's nothing to do with you have to see all that too before you say all those things. Because, okay, how are you going to plan it? How are you going to organize that? How are you going to make sure that this league and we have visa between all the countries. That's the thing with Africa. Like today, I cannot get up on the plane and say I'm going to South Africa. I need a visa.
You're gonna need a visa. Wow!
I need a visa. Wow. I need a visa. Mm. So people don't understand that. Yeah. So how you gonna plan a league when the team cannot fly day before the game? They need visa like weekend before. So you have to. That's the type of thing that you need to know before even planning all that. I agree that as African, as a players, we need to get back together and plan something good for Africa. As an African, we need to raise our awareness that together we can build something great. And also the African American, you all need to like sometimes take a trip in Africa and know what the culture is about.
Mookie take a trip in Africa. Yeah, but he's taking a trip in Africa.
I'm in.
Because we all know, because we all know our brothers from America.
Yes.
I mean, when they take a trip, they go to Miami or LA. They don't really go outside the country. And sometimes it's important to go back home. I mean, not home, but back to Mama Africa to know what the culture is about, how we do things, and I believe that if we get that together and if we strengthen each other, we have somewhere to go back like Africa. We can be strong in America,
exactly.
As a black people,
exactly.
Right. You know, so that's what I believe.
Brother, well, listen, though, Kalou, man, I appreciate you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
And coming on and chopping it up with us. And I think on that note, brother, hopefully when you sign to your club, if not coming to MLS, we need you back on, man.
Oh yeah, I mean, hey. I'm ready for the MLS, right?
Hey, next year I'm coming to Ivory Coast, Ella.
Yo,
the whole podcast coming. We all coming.
It's recorded. B said it.
And don't worry about B's paying for the tickets. Don't worry about it.
You need to come to Ivory Coast. We do a podcast about the foundation.
Definitely.
About the whole African.
Definitely.
I love that.
Yeah. We need to do that for sure.
All right, my brother. Yeah. Take care, brother. Thank you so much.
All right, man. See you.
Hey,
Kalou, good seeing you. See you, man.
See you soon, huh?
See you soon. Love you, man.
Yeah, I love you, bro.
One love.
Take care.
Go, say ciao.
À bientôt, mon frère.
À bientôt, hein. Porte-toi bien.
Ouais,
ciao, ciao.
So you don't say nothing in Jamaican?
How you say in Jamaican? How you say?
Suck your mother.
Wagwan. All right, respect,
ciao,
brother.
Ciao.
Respect.
Yeah, ciao.
Take care, bro. Ciao.
Man. Thank you for Salah for coming out. Thank you for Corey Gibbs. Gooch, what are your thoughts?
Man, beautiful, man. That I didn't think it was going to be that long, but he had a lot to say, man. And he had a lot of positive things to say. Salah's a king in his own regards and what he's accomplished. And it's crazy that I'm sure that he's undervalued on the huge grand scheme of world football, you know, and he's accomplished so much. 2 World Cups. I think he's done 6 African Cups, a nation, 1 Olympics, multiple titles. Yeah. You know what I mean?
2 Premier League, Champions League title. Shit.
Yeah, Champions League. Yeah, so yeah. I mean, for me, I've known Salah since, the Holland days, you know what I'm saying? And obviously when I didn't know him until actually, Corey, went to Feyenoord as well. And then obviously we all met up, and then that's when, we hung out, went to each other's houses, and, that part was fun, really getting to know Salah as a person and as a player, and watching his career, blossom from Chelsea to Lille to, Hertha and all these different clubs. So I didn't want to stop him from talking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Goose said, he had a lot of good stuff to say.
We had so much to talk about, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so much to talk about, and what he spoke about was from his heart, you know what I'm saying? Especially about, him not playing for Ivory Coast in the beginning. I thought that was very interesting.
We didn't even talk about the parties and stuff he's been doing. but the biggest thing with me with Salomon is that I see him treat every human being the same.
Yeah, he's the nicest guy.
I don't care where you are, who you are, what you're about. I've seen him treat everybody the same. It's not a front, and that's a pleasure.
100%, man. 100%. I don't know, man. It's we're gonna wrap this up. This is Juneteenth, and I think it's fitting, having Salah, just like you said, treating everybody the same. And I think the last podcast I gave a challenge to our listeners, the Gooch challenge, and thank you for all the listeners that made the responses and got back to us, whether it be me or Bees or on the podcast, to tell me what your findings were in that experiment. And ultimately, what we're trying to do is just educate, open people's eyes, and help them see. So let's see if I can do another one right now. Obviously, right now, the whole Black Lives Movement is streaming. Everyone sees it. And so I got a quick question, and it's not much of a challenge, but it's more to contemplate an idea and theory. So you hear everyone say Black Lives Matter. Then you hear people say all lives matter. When you hear someone says all lives matter or blue lives matter, when has it ever been a declaration or a statement and not a response to, right? And so obviously every lives matter, but can you sit down and ask yourself as a person, does a Black person's life matter to me, right? And if the answer is yes, there should be no but. Point blank, period. There should be no but, because like we highlight initiatives like breast cancer or specific endangered species animals, you never see controversy from that. And nobody is ever offended in highlighting something specific like that. So I just wanted to put it out there that, it's never minimalizing or disparaging anything else by highlighting a deep-rooted bias within our country that's factual. There's no argument above that. Sure. There was slavery, there was segregation, there was Jim Crow. So in regards to saying Black Lives Matter, it's saying, listen, this is what we were built on. This is how systemic racism began. You can't refute that. Let's try and make it better so that all lives will matter. Right. And then, that's just the thought I want to go. I love you boys. I love Kalou for coming on, obviously Corey as well. And I just want the world and everybody to love each other, and so we're all equal.
Well said. Well said.
Well said.
Listen, Bees, let us know about these applications you put out to schools.
And I'll let you know when I get my Wi-Fi booster.
No, you did good today. You did good today.
Not to get it today.
You did good today. You did good today. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to the Crack Podcast and taking this journey with us. We see you guys next week. Much love. Make sure you also subscribe to our Instagram, to our iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the Crack Podcast. Peace. Much love.
Peace.